Hello, everyone. Welcome back to the 21 Days Print on Demand Challenge. And today, we're going to work on story selling. It's week two, mission three, story selling. Yesterday, I talked a bit about publishing, how to create noise before you launch your funnel. And I'll do a video on that. I tried to go live and share some slides, but it didn't work. I had a plugin actually in a Chrome extension for Facebook um, Live where you can incorporate like slides, but it didn't work. So I just I'll do another video on that and show a couple of things. Right. So today is story selling. So, what is story selling? Story selling is about using stories in your marketing message to convey emotion. And I found this from an expert on story selling. And he said it's called Bob Phipps. And he said, just like a child, when you tell a story to an adult, you engage the heart, which leads the buyer up into the highest level of the brain, the prefrontal cortex. It is the wonder part of the brain. It is where we are most happy, most comfortable, and most open to new ideas. And he said people remember stories while they forget facts. I love this. I love this, and I'll share more on some of the stuff from Bob Phipps. He's an authority in using stories in retail marketing. During the One Funnel Away challenge, we learned about storytelling and how, like, your origin story, epiphany bridge, epiphany story. But it was more, geared towards launching a course or more like info products area. But the whole idea of stories can be applied to any product. It doesn't matter whether you're selling physical products or digital products or info products. Let me sip some coffee. I'm gonna stay longer in the night. So I decided to research more into how to apply stories to print on demand. We are selling products that we are selling. How can we incorporate stories? And that got me into some good findings. Sure, we can use stories. If you're selling on merch by Amazon, for example, where you can use stories is if you have like a Seller Central account and um, you are selling on Seller Central, you have more room where you can be creative with stories. If even if you're on merch, I remember when after the first One Funnel Away challenge, I came back and changed the bullet points, the bullets of my best selling shirt. I I I decided to write it like in a story form. It was brief. Some of the keywords were in, but it was more engaging. It was designed. It was written to evoke, like to convey emotion. And I increased the price, and it's still I saw you know an increase in sales. And a friend of mine, even we were talking about it. He was asking me why the sales have gone up, and we were just I told him that I was using stories, like not because we don't have much characters that you can use to write a lot like more, but even if For the space that we have in the bullet section, you can use your keywords and wrap it in a story form to convey emotion. So that's something that I experimented myself. And if you look into retail, I mean, brands are using stories. Brands that use stories see an increase in sales. They're able to their messages go viral. So in terms of stories, you can use story selling in your brand. If you have a brand, let's say you have a brand on Shopify or on Etsy, you can think about your brand story. You can even use videos to do some stories that will really convey emotion. Think about the backstory of your brand. How did you get into it? What happened? What is the origin story? To think about all this if you have a brand. So you can use the stories for your brand or for your product. In terms of the funnel that we're building, we're talking about offers. Even the offer that you're creating, you can weave a story into it. The whole idea is to convey emotion. People buy with emotion and justify with logic. That's one thing that I heard from Russell Brunson that um, has really stuck with me. People buy with emotion and justify with logic. And like it said, um, just like a child, when you tell a story to an adult, you engage the heart. So stories go to the heart, which leads the buyer up in the highest level of the brain, the prefrontal cortex. It is the wonder part of the brain. This is powerful. So let's look at this. When it comes to storytelling, be authentic. Use real stories. I will share um, a piece of an article with you very shortly. So, what are the stories behind your designs? Do you have a story about the design that you've created? I know most of the time we are in the habit we it's about creating loads of designs and about niches and stuff. But if you are building a funnel where you are sending traffic to only your offer, it's not like on Amazon or on any platform marketplace where the the buyer has got loads of, I mean, where there is much distraction. With the funnel, you have the traffic, the people that come to that funnel, they have only, it's so focused only on your product or on your offer. So this is the best place to bring in a story. Use a story when you are doing an ad, like we did on the offer hacking with the Facebook ad library, where I showed you the hook story and the offer. So use the story to convey emotion, to draw them to your funnel. And when they land on your funnel, use the story to move them to the next step. To each page, lead them, use the story to lead them in all the pages. So think about the story for your design. If it's a cat design, for example, well, I'll do another video on that, another example. Have a cat design that I'll probably use for the funnel, and I'll tell you the backstory. Initially, I didn't even, I just put that design up, But when I started learning about story selling, I went back to some of my designs and then I thought about the backstories. What caused, I mean, why did I create the design? Is there something that can convey emotion to the buyer? So a great story can easily go viral on social media and generate tons of traffic and sales. That's the beauty about having a story that convey emotion. A story that convey emotion plus social media is fire. It's powerful. You don't even have to do ads. People will just share. And I'm going to show you a case study. Right. There's a case study that came. There's a story that came I think 2 days ago on the 9th of September, and it's let me just okay. This is going to be your mission for today. Let me just tell your mission before I share the story with you. So after this video, your mission is to watch the video, think of a story to use for your offer, and then comment on today's mission thread when you're done with the word mission complete. Right. So let's go to the case study. I'm gonna pull this one here. Okay, this is the case study. Grab a coffee. Right. This is a story that was published, like I said, just 2 days ago, and it's the story about like a boy who was bullied in his school, and later it had an happy end. There was a happy end. It's this guy, this boy created a T-shirt, a design. Let me just let's go to the. I want to show the Facebook page. I'll just yeah, okay, I'll put a link somewhere so that you can read the story. But let me just be quick. Check the time. Okay, so this is the story. Good. So this is from the teacher of this boy. So he said, I don't even know where to begin. I'm so incredibly amazed. Mhm. So he there was this I think color day or something at school, and the boy decided to wear orange. He decided to wear orange, and he wanted the University of Tennessee's like logo on it, but the time was so tight that the mom couldn't purchase um the T-shirt. So the boy was creative, and he wore the T-shirt, the orange T-shirt, but he went one step ahead and just created this, drew something on paper and attached it to the orange. And he went to the teacher and told the teacher about that. And the teacher was very happy, you know, said he was creative. But later, some girls, and this happened in Florida, in a Florida school. And later, some girls who were not even part um, of the color day program started laughing at the boy. So the boy was really devastated. He went back to the teacher crying, and then the teacher posted this on Facebook. And look at what happened. You see, here's the story. It says, last week my elementary school participated in College Colors Day. So I want you to. This is the story. I want you to see from what I've been saying on this slide. I want you to see how it ties in, how stories can convey emotion. So it says, last week, my elementary school participated in College Colors Day. When I told my students about this day a week before, this particular child came to me and told me that he wanted to wear a University of Tennessee shirt, but he didn't have one. We discussed that he could wear an orange shirt to show his spirit. He told me every day leading up to it that he had an orange shirt that he was going to wear. So when the day finally arrived, he was so excited to show me his shirt. I was impressed that he took it one step further to make his own label. After lunch, he came back to my room, put his head on his desk, and was crying. Some girls at the lunch table next to his, who didn't even participate in College Colors Day, had made fun of his sign that he had attached to his shirt. He was so devastated, and no kid can be cruel. I'm aware that it's not the fanciest sign, but this kid used the resources he had available to him to participate in a spirit day, one that I celebrated all week. God knows. I planned to get him a University of Tennessee shirt, but was wondering if anyone has any connections to the University of Tennessee. I wanted to make it a little extra special for him. If anyone has any contacts that they'll be willing to share, please let me know. So this is what the teacher posted. This is the story. I will leave that one here. You can pause the video and watch this part just to understand, you know, the what goes into a story, the type of stories and stuff as a case study. So, and look at this. That's what I said. When a great story can easily go viral on social media and generate tons of traffic and sales. So have a look at this. 2.5 thousand, 2,500 reactions on that. 408 comments, 373 shares. And this is not paid traffic. This is not paid traffic. This is all organic. And now look at some of the comments. I think it's a nice shirt. I like it. And give this boy trained thought for how to design clothes. For this little boy who designed his shirt, maybe one day he'll a designer making money. Yeah, that's what somebody said. I saw it on Fox News this afternoon. Look at that. What a wonderful story. You see? Look at that story. This one will say, I'm not a Bulls fan, but I drive the length of Tennessee often. I'm going to order a shirt and wear it on my next journey. You see, he has a fan from Texas now. You see? Say I would wear it. So let me show you the other. Let's go back here. So this is the story that the teacher posted. So you can, as a case study, just go. I'll post the link in so that you can just read through for inspiration. So this is exactly what we do, designing. It's just about finding the right story for that design. So look at some of the comments. It says, so glad you have a caring heart. It says, when you first posted this, I got right online and I ordered your student a shirt, youth large. It just came yesterday. In the past, obviously, very great things have happened to that sweet boy. You see, okay, say your shirts are on the way. Even a Japanese TV program, journalist wanted to cover this wonderful story. So think of wonderful stories for your design. And this one says, Louisville Cardinals fan, but I will wear that shirt just for that little boy and his precious heart. You know, I say, I hope he's never discouraged from sharing his love and pride of anything that is important to you. So you can see from Australia, your story melted our hearts. You know, remember what I said on the slide? Let me go back. It says, just like a child, when you tell a story to others, you engage their heart. You engage their heart. Let me put this one here, which leads the buyer up in the highest level of the brain. So there we have it. Your story melted our hearts. Yeah. So it just goes. This was a heartwarming story. So just think about stories. Think about stories from Denmark. What a beautiful story. Think about beautiful stories. If your design is for a course, think about the story behind that course. And then look at this one. And wow, I needed this story and all the responses. And so many stuff. So let me show you one thing here. Okay, so this is the guy that I quoted on this the Gumbob Phipps. This is and he's an authority. It's called the retail doctor. He's an authority in retail sales. That's retail sales training. And this one is his tip is use story selling. And he goes on to say here, he says, be authentic. Story selling is using a real story. Don't use any fake story. Real story. Either one you experienced, a customer experience, or something you read about that actually happened. There's no urban myths, please. That actually happened to reinforce or teach a key point of what you're trying to sell to a customer. That's because we see in pictures. So create compelling ones for your customers. This is powerful. So be authentic using a real story. It might not be your own story, but it can be from a customer. Sometimes the reviews. Look at the reviews that you have on Amazon. One of the funnels that I built for my bestseller, I went through all the reviews, and some of the reviews they are stories themselves. You can use those reviews like in a story. Look at that's what the info marketers do. Look at the stories, the testimonials that they use. The transformation that people go through their stuff. So you can use some of those reviews or even ask in terms of like on Etsy or on your Shopify store. You can ask some of the customers to record a video to tell a story that you can add. So this one, it says use a real story, a customer, a story that a customer experienced or something that you read about that actually happened, like this story about bullying. So sometimes it's against something. It can be um, 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 this one is against bullying, for example. So you can see people can relate to it. That's that little boy who was being teased, for being creative. You know, very powerful story. And he says, be authentic. So second, he says, really, you need a wow that makes your point. Keep it brief. You have to get them in seconds, not minutes. That's where your story must have a hook. Your story must have a hook to grab the attention. That's why I say keep it brief. Your story must have a hook to grab the attention. Once you hook them in, then you can tell the story and then you can make the offer. So you have that hook story offer framework. Keep it brief. You have to get them in seconds here. Make it relevant. It's not about you, it's about helping the shopper feel confident. The buyer. Make state the point, sum the point up in the end, how it relates to shop. Yes, that's where the offer comes in. That's when you tie in the offer to your story. So this one is very, very powerful that I wanted to share with you. And that, yeah, that's the one. Right. So, oh, this one has gone very, very long. This is the longest video I think I've done in the challenge. So, without wasting much time, I will leave you, and I'm going to end here. And thank you very much for watching. Thank you for your time. Just go through this case study with the story and use that to get ideas for your own designs that you do now and in the future. Thank you very much, and God bless.